Welcome to Professor Guna Explains AI podcast. I'm Professor Guna, and I've had the privilege of teaching at top universities like Carnegie Mellon and Princeton, where I often lead a popular AI course with over 500 students. Today, I'm joined by my AI companion, Jessica. Good morning, Jessica.
Good morning, Professor Guna. I am thrilled to talk about data today.
You know, Jessica, data used to be compared to gold, but that analogy completely misses the mark in today's world. In our modern world, data has become as essential as oxygen. Without it, our entire digital ecosystem would suffocate.
That's such an interesting way to think about it. The shift from seeing data as a valuable resource to viewing it as a necessity really shows how our relationship with data and information has evolved.
And what's fascinating is the sheer scale of it. Every single day, humans generate about 2.5 quintillion bytes of data. That is like 1 billion gigabytes, or 10 to the power 18. That is a lot of data. That's also equivalent to 250,000 times the printed material in the Library of Congress.
Those numbers are mind-boggling. How do we even begin to process that much information?
Well, that's where the different types of data come into play. We've got structured data, which is like having the world's most organized filing cabinet. Think spreadsheets and databases where everything has its precise place.
And I'm guessing unstructured data must be more challenging to handle?
Exactly. Unstructured data is like trying to organize a teenager's room. It includes things like emails, social media posts, videos. About 80% of all enterprise data is actually unstructured, which creates huge challenges for organizations.
You know what's interesting about that? The way we've had to develop entirely new technologies just to handle these different types of data. Right?
Exactly. And that brings us to something really fascinating. The whole data lifecycle. From the moment it's created, data goes through distinct stages, kind of like a living organism. It's born when it's collected, lives an active life while being used, and eventually either gets archived or destroyed.
I assume that must create some serious challenges for storage and security?
Oh, you have no idea. Get this, by 2025, it's estimated that 463 exabytes of data will be created each day globally. That's the equivalent of 212,765,957 DVDs worth of data every single day.
That's absolutely staggering. How do organizations even begin to manage that kind of volume?
Well, that's where AI and machine learning come in. These systems can process and analyze data at speeds that would be impossible for humans. But here's the catch. They need massive amounts of clean, well-organized data to function effectively.
So, Professor Guna, it's a cyclical dependency, right? AI relies on data to function effectively, but we also need AI to manage and make sense of our data.
Exactly. And what's really interesting is how this affects privacy and security. With General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR, enacted by EU, and other regulations, organizations now have to be incredibly careful about how they handle personal data. The fines for mishandling it can be up to 4% of global revenue.
That really puts the responsibility on organizations to be good stewards of data, doesn't it?
Yes. And that's just the beginning. Looking toward the future, we're seeing the emergence of quantum computing, which could revolutionize how we process and store data. Some experts predict it could solve problems in minutes that would take traditional computers thousands of years.
So, what does all this mean for the average person? How should they think about their own data?
That's a crucial question, Jessica. Think of your personal data like your financial information. You wouldn't just hand your credit card to anyone who asks for it. The same principle should apply to your digital information. Studies show that the average person has their data stored in over 100 different databases.
That really puts things in perspective. We've come so far from the days of simple spreadsheets and filing cabinets. Life is too complicated now with all these data sources. Maybe AI can also help us manage our data, right?
Absolutely. And here's what's really mind-blowing. Experts predict that by 2028, the average person will interact with connected devices nearly 4,800 times per day. That's one data-generating interaction every 18 seconds.
Looking ahead, what do you think are the biggest challenges we'll face?
There are many. Collecting, organizing, and accessing data is a key challenge. There is also the challenge of balancing innovation with privacy. We're seeing amazing advances in healthcare, transportation, and education thanks to big data, but we need to ensure these advances don't come at the cost of personal privacy and security.
That really brings us full circle from your oxygen analogy. Data is essential, but like anything essential, we need to manage it responsibly.
Exactly. And just like we need clean air to breathe, we need clean, secure, and ethically managed data to power our digital future. The organizations that understand this will be the ones that thrive in the coming decades.
So, Professor Guna, we have plenty of work ahead of us, right? I'm really excited about these developments and the role of data in AI.
Yes, thank you, Jessica, for sharing your thoughts today. Stay tuned for our next podcast. Bye, everyone.